at Spielberg, it's time for qualifying on what will be the fastest laps of the season. Stand by for qualifying at the Austrian Grand Prix.
Well, we are prepared to start our first run of qualifying for the Austrian Grand Prix. And team telling me that there is some rain expected. Not sure if it will hit in Q2, but you can certainly see the clouds starting to cover across the track. And oh, I think I just saw a flash there. Yep, there it is. Rain now starting to come down, so it is coming very early. We're going to go up towards the line, and it's going to be P2, so 1/10 off of Fernando Alonso, who currently sits at the top of the timing sheets. Well, everybody only had time for one run here in qualifying before the rain started to pour, so we have a lot of surprises here. So Kevin Magnussen making it through in 6th. As well as both of the RB cars and Alex Albon and Logan Sargent. So both Williams making it through. So good effort from them. I think that's the first time that's happened since Monaco. But then there's not really any surprises out in Q1 besides maybe Lance Stroll. And George Russell was very, very lucky to get out as well and progress through. But you can see 7.4 down to Pierre Gasly, so that rain really did affect those runners that waited longer to set their laps, but some drivers like Max Verstappen and Lando Norris and George Russell were very lucky to progress through with the way that the rain is starting to come down. But now, will this rain affect our race as it keeps pouring onto the track? To start our first run of Q2, I've just been trying to find where the grip is on my outlap. So easy to lock the tires as we go through the Lauda curve, probably a lot slower than we need to. So we're just going to stay on the racing line up the hill into turn 3. And as Jeff always used to say, there's about as much traction out of turn 3 as a non-stick frying pan. And now we head up. Down turns 4 and 5 are going to be very difficult to get right, but we do just about get the car slowed down. Here we go, out of the final corner, up towards the line. What is it going to be? Only 7th fastest, so as I said, this rain is definitely going to affect our pace, because we are going to start a final run of Q3. Of course, that second lap wasn't really enough, so now we're going to be P7, and I'm going to start a flying lap. It looks like the rain is lightening up just a little bit, but if these drivers cross the line and I'm still in the top 10, I'm going to back out just to save these intermediate tires. And I do progress through, so that is qualifying, so I'm going to back off immediately there and just save these tires all the way back into the pit lane, but we are P9 at the end of Q2. Well, at the end of Q2 here, it is a Red Bull 1-2. Max Verstappen outperforming his teammate. 5/10 was the gap, and then Charles Leclerc comes in 3rd. Then Yuki Tsunoda, so great lap from the Japanese driver there. And then, unfortunately, both Williams cars out in Q2, so they'll be starting 14th and 15th, as well as both Haas cars, and then Daniel Ricciardo. And George Russell, once again, just squeezed us through. So the rain is starting to ease up. So where can we put this Ferrari car in Q3? It's going to be a very exciting session. Pretty sure there is no rain coming anymore, so I believe we're on intermediate tires on a dry track, or at least drying. Rain seems to be draining pretty fast off of the track, but I assume our final runs will all be on the soft compound tires. So that was a gorgeous line through the penultimate corner. So now we're going to head up towards the line. DRS not yet enabled. And it is going to be P2, so it's a Ferrari 1-2 at the moment. And the track is bone dry now. Alright, we still sit P2, but now everyone is coming out on a set of the soft compound tires. So now let's see where we can stick this Ferrari car. DRS now enabled, and the lap times will now start to tumble massively. Right, it's not the best lap in the world, but now as we head down out of the final corner, don't exceed track limits, keep it within the white lines. Where's it going to be? I can't tell. We are going to be P2. So P2 on the grid, that is a front row for us, and I will absolutely take that. Well, there we go. End of Q3. Max Verstappen taking pole position once again by a very, very slim margin. And then comes Lando Norris and then Charles Leclerc. So you can just see how at the end of the session, the track was ramping up quite a bit. Then Lewis Hamilton, Sergio Perez, Fernando Alonso, Oscar Piastri, George Russell, and then Yuki Tsunoda. So we have, once again, a titanic battle between Verstappen, ourselves, and Lando Norris. So let's see what we can do starting on the front row.
Welcome from the beautiful Styrian Mountains for another chapter in the story of the Austrian Grand Prix. It's one of the shortest laps on the calendar today then, with 7 rights and just 3 lefts, making up the 10 corners of this high-speed circuit. Turn 2 is barely a corner at all. They'll be flat out through there, a left-hand kink into the uphill braking zone of Turn 3. Turns 1, 3 and 4 are all potential opportunities to overtake. It's time to take a look at our starting grid for today's race. Max Verstappen put in a fantastic lap yesterday, and he'll start from pole position. And Mr. Monaco completes the front row. As we continue through the rest of the grid today, we have Norris, Leclerc, Hamilton, Perez, Fernando Alonso, Oscar Piastri, Russell, Tsunoda, Ricciardo, Magnussen, Hülkenberg, Albon, Sargent, Stroll, Ocon, Bottas, Joe, and Pierre Gasly picks up the final grid slot. That's it then, it's time to go racing as we head down trackside for today's race.
Right, well here we go, sat in our P2 grid spot, ready for the Austrian Grand Prix here. We have 36 laps ahead of us, and we're going to go for the good old one-stop strategy. No need to risk anything at all.
And the formation lap is underway here in Austria. The atmosphere coming from the fans here today is electric. This circuit gives drivers fantastic overtaking opportunities due to the 3 long straights. So let's hope we're in for some wheel-to-wheel action today.
Well, right you are, Crofty. These long straights make it one of the best circuits on the calendar with the heavy braking zones.
We're ready to start the race as the cars take their positions on the grid, with the drivers and teams making their final preparations.
And everybody is starting on the medium compound tires, so should be fairly straightforward today. Of course, mediums do keep a 2-step strategy open, but should be a 1-stop for everybody today. As now Pierre Gasly, who took a penalty for something, not sure what, is going to line up on the back row. The green flag is going to wave, as now we have 3, 4, 5 red lights for the Austrian Grand Prix. It's lights out, and away we go. We get a pretty decent start, not as good as Max Verstappen, and now Charles Leclerc is going to try to go up bar inside. Max is going to take a very defensive line, which will compromise his exit out of the Lauda curve, and now we're going to head up towards the turn 2 kink on the straight. Can we go around the outside into turn 3? It would be quite the chore to go around the outside of Max Verstappen, and he is just going to hold on to the position. But now we're going to tuck into the slipstream of him. Can we hold it around the outside once again without any contact, as we just a little bit of bang into his side pod there. And now we are just really putting the Dutchman under pressure. Charles Leclerc behind us was having a little look. Don't want to have that contact again like we did with Lando Norris in the sprint race, which might have cost us the win. But now this is worth a whole lot more than just a sprint win. So we're going to complete lap 1. And we're going to tuck into the slipstream. I've already used way too much battery trying to get past Max Verstappen, which we do into turn 1, and we get the DRS for good measure. So I'm just going to use that to deploy a little bit of energy. Max Verstappen is still going to gain on us, and now he's going side by side with our teammate Charles Leclerc, and he's going to try to get 2 for the price of 1 and go up the inside of us. We're now 3 wide into turn 3. Would you look at that? I don't have any DRS, but Max and Charles certainly do. But now we're going to deploy a little bit more energy. Are we going to go 3 wide once again down into turn 4? No contact between any of us. Very clean and aggressive racing here in the Styrian Mountains. As now Max is going to go extremely defensive. And he knows, look at how close we are to the Dutchman. We're just all over the rear wing of the Red Bull car. Now if we can just stay this close with him, I think if we can clear him, we might just be able to pull away if he gets caught in a fight with our teammate. As now we are all over the back of him once again. We're going to tuck into the slipstream as everyone's setting fastest lap after fastest lap. And now we're going to go around the outside into turn 1, the Lauda curve, renamed in honor of 3-time Formula 1 world champion Niki Lauda after his passing in 2019. And now our teammate Charles Leclerc is going to try to get past Max Verstappen, and he does get past Max Verstappen. So now it is a Ferrari 1-2 here in Austria. Leclerc does have some experience winning here in 2022 and fighting for the win here in 2019. And Leclerc is no stranger to this top step of the podium. But neither are we, and neither is Max Verstappen, certainly, as we're not pulling away nearly as much as I would have hoped. I'm just trying to manage my tires a little bit to leave us the option of going a little longer if we need to. As now we go purple through the middle sector. Are we going to go up towards the line to set the fastest lap of the race so far? Yes, we are. So now we have a lot of work to do if we want to hold on to this win. Well, here comes Charles Leclerc once again. He's going to try to go around the outside, but he's not even going to need that line, as he's just going to sail right on past us before we even get to the braking zone. So now we have to stay with our teammate. We need that clear track in front of us if we want to be able to manage our tires. You can just see loss of front end downforce. Now we get a pretty decent exit out of turn 1. We're going to tuck into the slipstream, just saving a little bit of batteries. Now he's going to force us to go to the outside, but we're going to hang it up and leave him to dry, hopefully, as we just get a way better exit plus DRS off of turn 3. But now here comes Max Verstappen. Leclerc's going to try to hold the inside line, but Max just is going to try to sail right past him. Not sure if he's made the move stick. So we're going side by side through turn 5. And now through turn 6, they're still side by side. So this is good news for us. And battling hard but fair, wheel to wheel, as now Verstappen does clear our teammate. Whoa, as we just hold on to the position there from Max Verstappen. I was just really focused there. So I think our tires are just getting a little warm, and Mark would like us to cool them down. It's quite difficult when you're battling with a world champion who will not back out. But now he's not going to be close enough to make a move this time around. Here comes Max Verstappen now into turn 1. We're just going to harvest some batteries. We go side by side through this corner. So he gives us a little love tap there. Now he is going to get the DRS. We don't want to use too much batteries. Now our teammate Charles Leclerc is going to try to go up the inside. And now here comes Lando Norris, that is. Whoa, as we lose 3 positions in the space of 1 straight. So now we're down to P4. And now Lando and Charles are going to go side by side. What an amazing race this is. We're only on lap 8. And there's plenty more to come, I'm sure. As now we can't let Max Verstappen get away from us. As you can just see how the gap is starting to increase. And these two battling certainly will not help with that. And I have Lewis Hamilton all of my gearbox. So this really is anyone's game here. But Max Verstappen is starting to pull away. And we cannot have that. As now we're going to head through the final 2 corners. And get a beautiful run on our teammate out of the final corner. Yes, we do. And now we have DRS. We're going to go around the outside at the louder curve. Should be able to make the move stick. Yes, we do. And now Lando Norris still is in DRS range. He's 8/10 back from the Dutchman. So that's just keeping us in check with the Red Bull driver. Oh, here goes Norris up the inside. He kind of faked him out. Where have we seen this before? Is now they're going to go side by side up into turn 3, and Max just holds on to the position. That's going to compromise Lando's exit with a little bit of battery. Are we going to be able to send one up the inside? No, but Max is going to have to go defensive. He reacted to Lando's move there just before the braking zone. So now it looks like we have an intense battle on our hands. And this might just turn into a race of attrition for us while they fight it out. Here we go. Norris versus Verstappen part 2. And now he's going to close up to the back of the Red Bull driver. Is he going to go to the outside or the inside? Nope, he's not close enough. But now we have yellow flags out. Not sure what that's all about. Can't really tell. Is that a McLaren? It is. No, it's an Aston Martin. Is that Fernando Alonso? Is that Alonso out of the Grand Prix now with a mechanical issue? Is that Mercedes engine holding out? Not sure what's going on there. Yes, it is. So Fernando Alonso out of the Austrian Grand Prix. So heartbreak for him. He looked like he had some decent pace this weekend. But now it is all going down the drain. Well, let's listen in with what happened to Fernando Alonso. Yep, engine just kind of cuts. And he's going to back off the racing line, maybe. There you go. So that is now the Spaniard out of this Austrian Grand Prix. As well, we're focusing on that. Norris and Verstappen are still neck and neck up ahead. And yeah, like Mark says, the dirty air will not be helping our tires. And will Lando look for a move this time? Is he close enough? Max is going to leave the outside line open. Oh, and they almost come to grief there, but they just about keep their cars away from each other. So like I said, I think it would just be better to hang back right now. Keep out of their dirty air. So we get a big old kick of wheel spin there. And now we might just be forced to go for a move on Lando Norris. And now Lando's going to go for Max. And I'm just going to back out there because I knew there would be some contact if we tried to go 3 wide into that corner. Not the greatest of ideas. So we can't get the power down. Trying to get the throttle planted. So once again, as we lock the rears going into turn 4, we need to make sure we are managing our tires, but I think we just used a little too much to fall back on now. Obviously can't undo what I've already done. So I think we're out of that stage where managing will be key. But it will be key when we switch over to the hard compound tires in a handful of laps. Seems we're a lot quicker in the braking zones and slower corners this weekend. As now our teammate Charles Leclerc is going to get a lovely run on us, and he's going to try to go around the outside. This was not on my bingo card, as now there's a little bit of contact. I think I just squeezed him there, gave him a car's width and nothing more. And now we're going to try to hang it up around the outside. There you go. So we hold on to P3 for now from our teammate, but as that dropped aside of the DRS range, we're going to deploy a whole bunch of battery to try to stay with these two. I can't lose touch with them, because a win is still very much on the cards here. And now Lando, look how close he's getting to Max Verstappen. This is the closest he's been in a while. So now, is he going to be able to look for a move? Now, yeah, he's going to go around the outside. How many times is he going to do that? It might actually work this time, as now they're going to go side by side. Lando is still going to have DRS, I believe, as now he's going to go past Max down into turn 4. He's going to have the outside line. Has he got it covered? No, he doesn't. Verstappen's going to stick the nose in, and his car really bites through that corner, and that allows him to get an even better exit. And now they're still going side by side through turn 5 and now through turn 6. And now he gives him a little nudge there and holds the position. Lando just backs out going into turn 7. So unbelievable stuff here. Right, well, team won us in at the end of lap 16 here of 36. And now can we get a run on Lando Norris? We're going to try to go around the outside. Is Max going to give us the room? Yes, he is. We're going to go 3 wide, but the outside line is the one to have if you have to go 3 wide here. Can we make a double overtake? Yes, we do. Absolutely amazing there from us. Well, riding on board here with Max Verstappen, you can see he just notices me in his left mirror, and then he panics and swerves right, causes him to lock up, and he just goes right into Lando Norris. Not sure if he has any damage, but we're now up into P1. So now that we are up into the lead, that should give us the advantage in the pit lane. So we're going to try to build a gap now with some of our battery, as Leclerc gets by both of them as well. So have they sustained some damage, or has Charlie Leclerc just pulled an absolute banger on him? And now we're going to head into the pit lane, make sure we don't exceed the white line. We get the car nice and slow, to just about. As now we have Lando Norris right behind us as well. We can't have any mistakes in the pit lane, boys.
Okay, go, go, go.
Good.
That's a fantastic stop, faster than we were expecting.
So 2.5 there, and I think Lando might have just had a slightly slower stop than us, as we're going to come out into a whole bunch of traffic. So now Charles is coming into the pit lane.
Charles is in the pits.
So where will that put him relative to us? So now the 2 cars ahead of us are going to peel in to the box as well. And we're going to go down the main straight. We should take the lead back. Nope, we still have Russell, who needs to make his stop, but he's a mere 14 seconds ahead, so nothing we can't deal with. But now we're 1.5 ahead of Norris. Where is Max Verstappen? I wonder if he got held up in the pit lane or something like that, but he is now fallen back. So now we certainly have the advantage here at the Austrian Grand Prix. So could we pick up yet another win for Scuderia Ferrari? There we go, Russell into the pit lane, and now we take the lead of the Austrian Grand Prix once again, with Lando Norris still just behind us.
Great work. That's a new fastest lap of the race.
Well, there we go. Didn't even mean to do that. I'm just driving, trying to maintain the gap to Lando Norris. We were actually yellow in the first sector, but I guess our improvements in the final 2 sectors was enough. Didn't even mean to set the fastest lap, but absolutely we will take that. We get a big old snap there, and that's certainly going to cost us a few tenths to Lando Norris, but we do seem to be pulling away by 3 or 4 tenths a lap. Whoa. Unless we do something like that. And now our teammate Charles Leclerc is going to take the fastest lap, but that little mistake at turn 1 has now brought Lando Norris right back into play. Can't be doing that at all. So we got yellow flags out. Someone's got issues. Is that Oscar Piastri in the McLaren, that is? So is his Mercedes engine breaking down as well? I think that is. So Oscar Piastri now pulling to the wayside out of the Austrian Grand Prix, pulls out of the way in the gravel at turn 4. So that is 2 Mercedes mechanical failures now. Mercedes engines in the McLaren and the Aston Martin car of Fernando Alonso as well. So clearly not having the good time of it in terms of reliability. Well, what happened to Oscar Piastri? Oh yeah, you can see there the engine just goes. Quite a bit of smoke spurting out of the back of that McLaren car. So now that is another mechanical DNF. He's going to pull off to the wayside. And he is now out of this Grand Prix. Well, Lando Norris is right on the cusp of being in DRS range here, and I'm worried that if we let him under a second, that we will not be able to get that back and pull back away from the McLaren man. So I'm just starting to push a little harder. Tires are definitely in good condition and will get us to the end of the Grand Prix. So this managing we've been doing since lap 16 not only is good enough to pull away from Lando Norris, but also to give us a little bit of kick at the end of the race if need be, as now we're just trading fastest laps all over the place. So now Max Verstappen is going to get passed up into 3rd place, and he also has the fastest lap of the Grand Prix. So now will we see him in that clear air just start to come up to the back of Norris and myself? Or will he stay back and settle for a P3? There's 12 laps to go, and if I know anything about Max Verstappen, is that he will not settle for anything but the best. Well, that gap to Lando Norris really is the key here for the Austrian Grand Prix, because if Norris gets into my DRS, then I don't think I'll be able to pull back away from him because of how much he'll be losing on the straights. So then he will be battling away with me, and then during that battling, that will just allow Leclerc, Verstappen, and Hamilton to catch right up to the back of us, and then we have another 3, 4, 5-way fight for the lead. Whoa, as we get a little bit on the grass there, but that's just enough to unsettle the car. But yeah, if that happens, then we are going to be under a lot more pressure and less likely to win this race. So Lando Norris is the key, as this has been my fastest lap attempt. Good lord. So I get on to the curb there. Will this be enough for an extra point? No, it will not. 107, well, nearly a 108. So not quite good enough. Going to charge up some battery and go for it again as the fuel levels start to drop. Ugh. Man, I'm just starting to feel the pressure. I do not work well under pressure, as now the gap has fallen down. Shoot. And the gap to Leclerc in 3rd is now 3 seconds. So we need to make sure we stay ahead of Lando Norris. I'm going to start pushing with all of my might. And now I have also used way too much battery. But the British driver in the McLaren now is going to have some DRS and some battery all the way down towards turn 3. And you can just see how close he is. I locked the rears there. Heard the screeching of the tires is not going to help us. Now there's a 3-way fight down into turn 3 between Verstappen, Hamilton, and Leclerc. Who's going to come out on top? Not sure there. Who's going to come out on top here? As now we're going to fight away with Lando Norris. Force him out onto the curbs, and he's going to back off, and now Max is up. So the gap has risen by about 0.5 of a second, but only because they are scrapping away. I think the key here is also Leclerc needs to finish higher if we want to hold on to that constructor's lead. The only reason we haven't lost it yet is because Checo has not been showing up to a lot of these races. He's just been kind of dwindling in 7th, 8th, 9th. Very unacceptable for a Red Bull driver, as now the gap to Lando Norris is 0.8. Whoa. Oh man. And these tires aren't even that bad. Not sure why I'm struggling so much. And our MGU-H is warm, which means the engine will be getting a lot hotter, a lot quicker. So I need to replace that probably around Hungary time. So rain forecast in 10 minutes shouldn't really affect us unless we get a safety car late on in the day. Here's now Lando Norris is going to zoom right on past us. Well, he's going to try to at least. We're going to hold on to it and just dip a wheel into the gravel there. And now we're going to go side by side. Yep, got to back out. It was his corners. We have so much more grip because of how much we've been managing our tires. Lando has been pushing a lot harder, and he can't undo what he's already used. So now Lando Norris leads the Austrian Grand Prix. And now the gap behind has dropped to 2.6 seconds. Into the Lauda curve we go. See what we can do on Lando Norris. Heading up to turn 3, we're going to get a mighty slipstream. And now we're going to try to hang it up around the outside. Can we tuck back underneath him? Oh, we just about tried, but we were too close to make a move like that. Stick, and I think our front wing just tapped the rear of his car. So now can we send it up the inside like Leclerc did on Verstappen in 2022? Oh. So past Lando Norris there. So we're just trying to keep it as clean as possible as to not pick up any damage late on in the day. And now, just as I predicted, Lando Norris caught up to the back of us. We're squabbling away, and now the likes of Verstappen, Hamilton, and Leclerc are now coming up to the back of us. Whoa, yep, can't take that flat on race trims. Now we're going to go wide. And I think Max Verstappen is just about going to be in the DRS range of Lando Norris. So it's exactly like I said it would happen. So now we're going to see a titanic battle here in the closing stages of the Austrian Grand Prix. You can see those rain clouds starting to hover ahead. Now, if we get a last lap soaker on dry tires for the win, that'd be absolute insanity. Always produces a banger, does the Red Bull ring. And it seems that is no different here today. So now Hamilton is out of the range of Verstappen, which means our teammate Leclerc can have a look at 4th place from the 7-time world champion. But now we have a 3-time world champion right up on the back of Lando Norris. So now the roles are reversed from the battle that was going on earlier. As we go a little wide out of the Lauda curve, and that's going to compromise our exit by a whole lot. As now here comes Lando Norris with 2 laps to go, or 2 and a bit I should say. Whoa! As I just tried to move under braking there, can't do that without locking up. And now Max Verstappen's going to get on past us, so we are going to exceed track limits at turn 3. Big mistake there. As now I think Leclerc is fighting with Lewis Hamilton. Verstappen does have some serious pace in that Red Bull. I do have a lot of understeer. I can feel these tires starting to go. I'm just going to hang back, save up some battery, but I can't wait until an opportunity arises. I have to get my elbows out and really go for it. But now Max Verstappen's all over the back of Lando Norris as we get a beautiful run out of the final corner on the Dutchman. A little bit of contact there, I think, as now Lando's going to leave the outside line wide open for us, and we will gladly just go around the outside of both of them, as now they're side by side. Not sure which one is DRS. I would assume it is Max Verstappen. It's now on the penultimate lap here. We head into turn 3. Little bit of a lockup there as we just can't get the throttle planted out of that corner. And now here goes Max Verstappen right the way on past us. And now Lando Norris is all over the back of me. But we position our car beautifully in the middle of the road so he can't get past us. We need to stay with Max Verstappen here. We're going to approach the line. Next time around will be the final lap of the Grand Prix. And we cannot let him pull away. He's now starting to deploy a whole bunch of battery. I can just see, as I probably should have been saving some more for myself. Gap between us is 5/10, heading down towards the line. And now it's going to be a last lap showdown. Will it be Verstappen? Will it be us? Or will it be Lando Norris who takes the win here in Austria? It's been a thrilling race. And there's been no shortage of wheel-to-wheel action. But now we're going to tuck into the back of Max Verstappen for one more bit of wheel-to-wheel action. We're going to try to go around the outside of the Dutchman. Not going to be able to get the throttle planted really, but we are going to have DRS. And now there's Lando Norris looking for something. We're going to go around the outside of the Dutchman. He's going to try to hang us up the inside. Can we hang on to the position from the Dutchman? We go through turn 5 side by side. Turn 6, wheel to wheel. Normally, don't really see passes through this section of corner. But now Verstappen, we're going to just go on the grass here. And now can we look for a move up the inside into the penultimate corner? You never see moves there. But now we are past Max Verstappen as if he's around the final corner. We're going to come home to win the Austrian Grand Prix.
Fantastic drive, that's just fantastic, amazing, you deserve that race win, well done mate.
Well, there we go, we pick up another race win as Max Verstappen gets driver of the day, very well deserved. He managed a beautiful race.
Then for another spectacular Grand Prix here in Austria, and a truly magnificent drive to hang on and take the win.
It was a joy to watch today, honestly, because the driver was clearly able to read the conditions well on track, to use the information properly from the team, and usually come up with the right solution at the right time.
And here we are, a team that is no stranger to the podium, taking their place on top once again. A sublime race today, and a stunning win for Ferrari.
There we go, we are back on the top step of the podium once again. But yeah, Max Verstappen did manage a beautiful race. Remember, he came out behind that whole gaggle of cars in the pit lane. It was 5 seconds behind, and by the end of the race he was able to finish P2. So we snatched the win here in Austria, and that will be a great haul of points for us and for the team.
Well, what an end to another fantastic weekend of racing. Thanks to everyone who joined us, and we'll see you for the next one.
Well, there we go. Race results. We finished first, but not with the fastest lap. Max Verstappen actually had a lap that was in, I think he's the only driver besides Charles Leclerc to break into the 106s. So Fernando Alonso and Oscar Piastri both having a mechanical failure. Clearly something the matter with the Mercedes engine in the back of those cars. Alex Albon makes a brilliant recovery to score another point, and that will put them even, I believe, with their rivals in the championship, Kick Sauber. And then, yeah, so Max Verstappen behind us. Then Lando Norris, Lewis Hamilton, our teammate, George Russell, and Perez all the way down in 7th. So that is clearly not acceptable for a Red Bull driver. Magnussen scoring points as well with Daniel Ricciardo. So now that is going to put us 37 points behind Max Verstappen in the championship. And Lando Norris is just starting to fall back. So a clear title battle is starting to form. We are going to hold on and actually extend our lead in the constructors' standings. And no, so Williams will only have 4 points, while Sauber are on 5, and Haas. So every team in the championship has now scored points. So, yeah, absolutely amazing race for us. I cannot wait to see what we're going to do next time out at the birthplace of Formula One, the Silverstone Circuit in Great Britain. So, I'll see you guys then.